Coming to you from the center of the universe in Lipsick, Wisconsin, it's the Hot Rod Tuesday podcast.
Hey, welcome to episode 64 of the Hot Rod Tuesday podcast. I'm Tom.
Kyle.
And Al.
So, Happy New Year, everyone. God, I couldn't wait to get through them frickin' holidays. That is not my favorite time of year, even by a little bit.
I'd agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like, oh my God, happy, joy. Shut the
I like the quiet of being off of school and off of work from teaching that 2 weeks, but
yeah,
right back to the chaos yesterday.
Right. So, January is a great month for car guys. I mean, other than it being cold and stupid outside. As long as you have a TV and you can escape a little bit. You have Bear Jackson coming up in Scottsdale at the end of the month. And you guys all watch Bear Jackson, I'm sure.
In person.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, you saw it in person. And
Yeah, when I was in Reno.
I saw it in person.
Yeah. Had to see Mike Joy up there doing his thing.
You're starting to sound like Beth there, Kyle.
Yeah.
But my legs are long enough to kick you under the table.
So one of the things that we do with Bear Jackson is my sister Wendy, when my mom was in a nursing home and she was just about to leave the world, it was about this time of the year and we had Bear Jackson on the TV. And for those of you who don't know, Wendy is not a car person, not even a little bit. But we're just sitting there and all of a sudden she just looks at me and she says, "What the hell are we watching?" Well, this is Bear Jackson. That's the whole reason I like January. I just can't stop watching. This is so interesting, or something along that line. She probably said something completely different, but that's the way I remember it. And so and then obviously the mom passed after that, and so now every year I think, except for when there's snowstorms and stuff, we've gotten together and we have a lot of fun. I mean, Wendy, for not being the car person that she is, did coin the best phrase I think I've ever heard a non-car person say. And I'm sure I told you about this.
I'm sure you did. I don't
when
recall it.
Right after Carol Shelby passed away, and anybody that had a Shelby anything, took it down to Bear Jackson to sell it.
Of course.
And Wendy looks at Keith, her husband, and I think Al, you might have been there too, and she's like, "So who's this Carol chick?" And oh my God, you just pissed off every Ford owner in the United States. But no, it was a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun with that. The other thing we got going on too down in Tulsa, the Tulsa shootout just got over with. But there's a lot of theatrics and stuff with that, with the guys that were tire doping and everything and pulling wins away, and it got a little bit crazy, I guess. But coming up, starting next week, Monday night, is the Chili Bowl down in Tulsa. Now, how many entries were there, Kyle? Do you remember? 300 and...
I didn't even look. I don't know. I just know there's
I
a
have
lot.
it. I have it right here. So
Look at that.
Then why'd you ask?
I don't know what the number is. I think it was
Do you need to count them?
385 entries or something like that. And great turnout from local Wisconsin drivers.
A lot of good names on there that people we know even.
Yeah, I mean, like Matt Rechak from Beaver Dam will be racing down there. He'll be racing Thursday night. So the idea of this is you race the preliminary stuff is Monday through Friday, and then starting Saturday morning they start with
I think it was the O's last year or the L's,
O
like that.
or P, yeah, and they'll run like a P main, and if they split it, so you have P main 1 and P main 2, and if you win that. If you qualify, then you go up to the O. So they call it running the alphabet. And I would like to know what the record is. I don't even know what it is off the top of my head. But
for people that go from that run their way up, or you mean like the?
Yeah, they run the alphabet.
Yeah.
Usually it's like a D, C, B, A type kind of a thing. Nobody ever really goes from that deep in the field.
I know Ferrucci had a good year a couple of years ago with that. I can't think of who last year's runner was though.
Yeah, I don't remember either. But you look at the people on this list. There's people from NASCAR, there's people from IndyCar, there's people. There used to be drag racing. I didn't know if.
Well, Ron Capps had and Predragon, I think, has a car that he owns yet out there.
Okay, so I mean, you got people from that World of Outlaws. You've got high limit cars. You've got obviously all the USAC stars are going to be there. But anybody who's ever driven an outlaw or a dirt car, open wheel dirt car, is going to be down there. And the Saturday night is well worth it. It's back to 55 laps again. Apparently, Hoosiers finally giving them a tire that can last 55 laps and not strip apart, which has been a problem the last few years.
See.
Yeah. Well, they said they've been having good luck with them so far. But each night has got, oh my God, what is that? Probably 80 cars. Pretty close.
What would be fun though is seeing a purple
75,
number
80
7
cars.
down there one year.
Yeah.
Maybe
So-
maybe Lance knows a girl who might want to drive a purple number 7 down there one year. We'll see what happens.
That'd be great. And if I had that unlimited bank
Yeah, we make it
bankroll,
happen.
yeah, I'd say, you know what?
Put Lance and Lily in a car.
Yeah. And then, see who wins. My money's on Lily. Sorry, Lance, but you're old. I'm just kidding. You're younger than me. I can't even say anything stupid anymore. But anyway, yeah.
But I won't.
Yeah. But like I said, that's going to be on Flow Racing, and you can get that. You can get that subscription pretty simply. You can pay by the month, or you can pay by the year, and even if you pay by the year, it's not all that expensive. What is it's $179 bucks for the year or something like
compared
that.
to what Dirt Vision, it's nothing.
Yeah, and then you can see all the IRA, all the USAC races,
All of High Limit.
all of High Limit. Yeah, it's
And
great.
lots of other sports on there too. It's not just racing. So big thing for other people too.
all the one ball sports, as people like to say.
I call what I watch is a one puck.
the one pucks. But yeah, this is going to be a great time. Oh, and then Saturday, we got some fun stuff coming up Saturday.
We sure do.
Yeah,
Another one ball sport.
another one ball sport. Well, it depends how short the shorts are, I guess. So yeah, we're going to be bowling, and there's time if you get a hold of Hot Rod Beth down at the Sussex Bowl. She'll be more than happy to add your name to the list. So just bring what you said. Just bring a pint of chili, whether it's hot or mild, and then you can dump it to the pile. And also, they're going to have their chicken there too. So yeah, you have plenty of things to eat, plenty of things to drink, and I'm sure there's going to be a laugh or two with. I haven't bowled since what was that? Probably 2019.
I don't. I've never seen you bowl.
No, at the last one, and
Oh, that thing. Yeah.
yeah,
It had to be something like that.
yeah.
Not long after we started getting involved in clubs.
Yeah. So yeah, it was. It's going to be a great time. I'm
Oh,
really
wow.
looking forward to seeing Al's form.
Oh, yeah.
You always admire his form,
Some
don't you?
form. I think the last time I bowled was 73.
73. Yeah, you just
Yeah,
like Flintstone and Fred Flintstone, go on your tippy toes and roll it down.
There's my form.
But yeah, that's going to be a great time. And she said she's got like 70 people signed up for this. Everything goes well. I'm hoping we can go live with that at some point during the day. It depends on how the day comes to us, but we'll definitely have some footage from there, and you guys can see us all make asses out of ourselves and see if we can bring a trophy back for Hot Rod Tuesday, because that would be great. Yeah, speaking of Hot Rod Tuesday, I just put out a video a little while ago that's got our schedules out and a bunch of just shows the diversity of the cars, trucks, and tractors that we get out here at Hot Rod Tuesday. So looking forward to that. Speaking of Hot Rod Tuesday, we want to thank our sponsors for the Hot Rod Tuesday car show season. We got Precision Stripping and Tires, which is Jumper over there in Reeseville. We've known Jumper for quite some time. We got Bruce's Classic Restorations, LLC from the Slinger Metro area. M&S Fabrication from Juneau. You go see Bob over there if you're looking to get a new furnace. Bob put both furnaces in the duplex we have here. Does a great job. I went to school with Bob. He actually paid attention, which is why he's able to do those types of things. And also the Dodge and FFA alumni. They came on board this year and helped us out a little bit. So yeah, one thing too that I was going to bring up probably for the last 4 months, and I forgot until just right now. Kyle, you remember this? Remember we went to the show in over by Marshall at the Barrel Inn?
Yeah.
And we were talking about door prizes. And one of the guys brought it up, and he said, you know what, let's have the people donate door prizes. And he ain't saying like going out and buying stuff. everybody has that stuff in their house that's car related that they don't know what to do with. Bring this stuff out. The person mentioned that he had salt and pepper shakers that were in the shape of Corvettes and stuff like that. If you guys make things, like Tracy does the what do you call it stuff, crochet, and I make fishing baits, things like that. That's the kind of stuff I think that would be fun. If we can have that one of a kind experience, to have those cool door prizes, the stuff that's handmade, the stuff that's old car type stuff. Hell, if you have a fuel pump for a 350 or a 318 or whatever, right, as long as it works, and it's new in the box type stuff, bring it.
I'm pretty sure everybody that comes to our show by now has a Bacardi tank top for a reg. I don't know how many of them I've given out every week. It's like the supply never ends.
Yeah.
For the last few years, a Bacardi tank top has been a staple of our table, which I don't care if that staple's removed.
Yep, old Chuck Bacardi's going, you know what? We should make some tank tops. Let's make 8 million of them.
Yeah, all those small and extra small tank tops for the car guys, they work out really well.
Yeah. I haven't worn extra small since 4th grade. And even then it would have been tight.
Yeah, without a doubt.
But anyway, if you got something around like that, we'd love to have it. And, bring it on car show nights. If you want to bring it the night of, that's fine too. But yeah, we're always looking for fun stuff like that. And to change things up, not to make, just so we're not the same old boring car show that we always are. We want to make it a lot more fun and more memorable for the people that come out. So, yeah, with that, big show tonight. We just got, we have Dave Christie from Bulletproof Garage.
Looking forward to that one.
Yeah. So you saw that on Facebook, right?
I did.
Yeah. Kyle, you saw that too, right? Where he, with the donation there that he did?
Yeah. Great way to start the new year with a story like that.
Yeah. So yeah, he did something there. He had basically a short story is he donated a truck to a 16-year-old kid, and man, it just kind of restored our faith in humanity. And then after that, I had a great talk with Jennifer from Main Street Memories Car Show up in Tomahawk. And that's going to be the Sunday of Memorial Day weekend. We kind of toyed around with the idea of maybe running up there because I think that'd be a lot of fun. Up there in the middle of the Northwoods, you can't go wrong. If the weather's good, it's going to be a great time. And they put that show on, I guess, for over 30-some years. So she'll be on after Dave. And then after that, of course, we're going to have History with Kyle and the Buzz with Beth, where she's going to fill you more in about the bowling. And then at the end of the show, you're going to have the shit that Al says. And I'm sure that's going to be highly educational and what's the word I'm looking for, Al? Educational and
enlightening, maybe.
Fulfilling.
It's the prescription you need.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's so full of shit. All right, guys, hang on. We got a great show for you tonight, and here we go. Joining us on the phone is Dave Christie from Bulletproof Garage. Dave, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
So, Dave, I can't do your story any justice from what you had going on this past weekend. So, do you want to fill everybody in, if they haven't seen it, what you did here in the last few days?
It is a big story. It's hard to even start with the beginning on it because it's so, it intertwines back into even a previous story. So, I'll give you as much of it as I can, and you ask questions when it doesn't make sense, and we'll just kind of go from there.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, so originally I'm going to start with George Pearson. George Pearson is from Cedar Lake, Indiana, and he was a guy that you guys would have loved, man. He was like an old school hot rodder type guy, and Cedar Lake, Indiana has emissions testing, and he got so mad about that he dedicated his life to not driving 1972 and newer vehicles, so he never had to do emissions testing.
Good for him.
Yep. So he drove, and so his daily was a 1972 Ford Galaxy 500, and that's how I met George Pearson's family. It showed up for sale, and I like these big. I like all cars. But
sure.
But this is a 2-door, full size. Looks like Gator. Have you ever seen the movie Gator before?
Oh, a long time ago, but yeah.
Okay, looks like the car from Gator, and so So he had passed away about a year ago, and his family was selling the car. So I went up there and I bought his car, and I was standing there looking, and there was a couple other vehicles there, and he wanted $1,200 for the family wanted $1,200 for this Ford Galaxy, and it ran and drove. This guy drove this car every day of his life. Everything on it was mechanically perfect, and it looked like it belonged in a junkyard. There was no paint left on it. It was rust from front to back. But anyways, so on to the story. So we're standing there, and there's a GMC sitting there. This 1970 GMC is sitting there. And I say, what about the GMC? And his son is the one I'm dealing with. And he goes, doesn't have a motor in it. It's junk. And I was like, and I said, well, looks like it's sitting nose down. Obviously it's got a motor in it. And, and he's like, well, it's blown up. I was like, well, what's blown up even mean? A lot of people use that term.
Sure.
And so I said, great. I already agreed to buy the Ford. And I said, well, how much is the GMC? He goes, make us an offer. And I was like, okay. And so I had intended to haul the Ford home on my trailer, and me and two of my buddies. And he said, make us an offer on the GMC. I said, great. How about $1,300 for both of them? So $100 for the GMC and $1,200 for the Ford. And I thought, there's no way they're going to take that. That's just a starting point. And they were like, they stood there and talked to each other for 2 seconds and went, we'll take it. I was like, huh, okay, great. I'm 200 miles from home, and this Ford does run, but the Ford hadn't ran in a long time since he passed away.
Sure.
And my buddy's like, dude, I'll drive it. I was like, great. So he drove it. We loaded the GMC up onto the trailer, just bombed that thing all the way back home. The Ford did great. We just topped off some fluids in it and, kind of made an adventure out of it and brought it home. Got pulled over in a little town called Rockville, and the chief of police there that doesn't know Indiana laws was yelling at me about not having a license plate on it, and et cetera. But, so anyways, so I get home with it. The Ford, that's a whole other story. The Ford ends up with the Ford collector, but the GMC's on my trailer, and I go out there and I think to myself, well, let's see what it does. Throw my jump box on it. Put my jump box on it, hit the key, and it fires right up. Motor sounds great. 327 V8 in it underneath the hood, 3-speed manual on the column, which is kind of an unusual combination, and it fires right up. And I'm like, well, it runs.
So it wasn't blown up.
No, it wasn't blown up. It had but it had a little bit of water in the oil. So something was up with that. Maybe an intake gasket or head gaskets or something. I'm not sure. But so I back it off the trailer. Then the clutch works too. Put in gear and it backs itself off the trailer. And you know how old cars are. Clutches never work in old cars.
Right, ever.
And yeah, but the mechanical linkage, it rolls right back, rolls off my trailer in my barnyard, hit the brakes, and it's got brakes. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. And this is a truck they just sold me for $100. And so I putt around and I take it, I wash it and vacuum it out, and it's got George Pearson stuff in the glove box, which is great. He was a paper map guy, so he's got a million paper maps in it, and and camping. He loved camping too, so there's all kinds of camping receipts in it. But anyways, so I wash it, and my wife says I want it in my Halloween display out in front of the house. So, and for my wife, she's in the other room. Halloween for my wife starts around September 1st. We have that rule. She has to wait until September 1st before Halloween starts.
Sure.
So it ends up in a front yard, and it's all decorated out for Halloween. And then, ironically, we do muscle cars and classic cars, and so Christmas, since my wife's in the other room, starts November 1st. So all the Halloween stuff comes down, all the Christmas stuff goes up, and immediately the truck is decorated again for Christmas. And I'm like, well, okay, so it's out there for Christmas. And people like seeing that stuff.
Sure.
We have a big Halloween display. So Christmas Day, I go out there and I take the stuff off of it, and I reach in, hit the key, fires right up. Didn't have to jump it, didn't have to put air in the tires, nothing. And I thought, man, that's a pretty good truck, and used it to haul trash to the dumpster and just little stuff like that. But anyways, I put it on my page for sale. I thought, I don't need another truck. I don't need the headaches. I'm going to make somebody a great deal on it. And I listed on my page for $1,200. Running, driving, 1970 GMC, 327, 3-speed manual on the column, long bed truck, 2-wheel drive. $1,200. I think somebody's going to buy this truck. It won't even sit here for 5 minutes. Everyone
Right.
on my page knows I paid $100 for it. And So you make $1,100 on a vehicle. I'm supposed to make money, like you said. You sell cars,
Right.
and that's what we're supposed to make money on cars, right?
You're supposed to. Doesn't not always the case, but you're supposed to. That's the grand idea.
It doesn't always work out that way. But so I end up showing it to a guy. Says, "Man, that's the truck for me. I'm coming to buy it." And he shows up, and truck and trailer. He's driving an Escalade. And nice guy, his name was James, and he shows up driving an Escalade, like brand new Escalade with a brand new trailer behind it. And I'm like, what in the world does this guy want with this old crappy truck? And then he goes, what's that over there? Then he bought a 68 Coronet RT off of me instead. So
okay.
He did not buy the truck. He bought a turquoise Coronet RT off of me, factory 440 car. So he didn't buy it. So the next guy's like, I want to come see it. I'll come buy it. Next guy comes out and looks at it, and he's like, man, he goes, it's pretty rough. I'm like, it's a $1,200 truck. It runs and drives. And did you read my ad for the truck originally?
I didn't. I didn't know Bulletproof Garage existed until I saw the day, like 5 minutes before I got a hold of you, is when I first found out Bulletproof Garage existed.
Huh. Okay. Well, so I'm sure you can relate to this, buying and selling cars. People get unhappy sometimes when you sell them cars.
Every once in a while.
I'd say for me, maybe 1 out of 100 experiences I have of selling things go really, really far south. And I sold a guy a car that I had, and it was a 1974 Challenger that was body dropped onto a Dodge Dakota RT chassis. So it looked like a 74 Challenger, but it was a Dakota RT underneath with a fuel-injected 360, automatic overdrive, 4-wheel disc brakes, 391 gears, heat, AC. This guy was so stinking happy when I sold him this car. Sold him for $8,000 is what he paid for it. Running, driving, no issues at all. Took him a week to get up here to get it. And he was up around where you guys are at, actually.
Okay.
And 3 days later, this guy destroys me on the internet over this car. Just destroys me over it. On and on. Everywhere I could see, he was telling people how it was a hack and how don't buy from me and how terrible it was and how I lied to him about everything, and and calling me names and stuff like that. And I said, what? And I talked to him. I was like, what did you expect? He goes, this thing's junk. And I'm like, what did you expect? It's $8,000. He goes, the Challenger was rusty. I was like, why do you think a 74 Challenger would be on a Dakota RT floor pan and firewall? And man, I ended up having to block the guy finally. So,
oh boy.
Now when I list stuff for sale, I put on there whatever I'm selling, worst case scenario. I make it. I don't sugarcoat anything, and I tell them it's rusty, it's junk. Ask your wife before you even contact me. Show her pictures of it. Look at every picture twice. Don't do business with me because I'm only in this to make money. And, and people laugh about it. And then so the people that know me go, oh, the Challenger. I'm like, yeah, exactly. So when people come back at me, I mean, like, yeah, it has rust. It's a 1970 GMC. It has rust,
Yeah, and it's Midwest, Rust Belt truck.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, I ended up showing that truck 4 different times to 4 different people that came and were interested in buying it. And nobody bought it, and they would look at it and they go, well, look how rusty the rocker is. I'm like, they make that rocker, and they said, and
you can buy that whole truck in a catalog.
I know, and I listed the truck as yard art. I said it's yard art, or drive it to the end of the driveway, get your mail, or I said don't flip this cab over. It's not that kind of truck. It's not the truck you want to. Like you said, catalog the thing. You don't want to build a truck from scratch like this because you're going to spend, I don't know, what do you think it would cost to restore a cab
God.
on a 1970?
A lot.
And it's the pinch on the top of the windshield has got a little bit of rust in it, but it runs and drives, and it's solid, and it stops, and I tried to, I would rather see it in somebody's landscape bed out in front of their bar with their logo painted on the side of it instead of somebody thinking they were going to restore it. So, and then I got this crazy idea to trade it for a guy that I know that I do, I've done some business with before, has a Trans Am, and he offered it for trade. The only problem is it's an 81 Trans Am, looks like a Smokey and the Bandit, and the only problem is it's front-wheel drive now.
Okay.
So you think about body dropping a Trans Am onto something, like the worst case scenario of what you would body drop it on. And he body dropped that Trans Am onto an Oldsmobile Aurora. They had a 4-liter V8 in it. And you sell cars.
Yeah, that would have been my choice, yeah.
That would have been a head scratcher, and you did what? Okay.
And the funny thing was, he's got like a 10 Camaro sitting there. He's got a WS6 looking Trans Am sitting there. Like the catfish looking ones that like from the late 90s kind of Trans Am. And I'm like, you had all this iron sitting here, and you decide to throw this thing on an Aurora. And so he's making videos of it, and he's running up and down his road and everything, and it's got chrome 20-inch Challenger wheels on it, and it looks pretty good in the video, and he offers it for trade. And he's in Kokomo, so he's about, I don't know, 80 miles away probably. So he offers it for trade, and I'm like, I'll do the trade. Let me go see it. I'll do the trade. And I show up, and it's the worst. It's not exactly what I expected. I'm going to be nice about it. It's not exactly what I expected.
Good enough.
He said it had a brand new windshield in it, and the windshield was smashed. And I'm like, you said brand new windshield? He goes, yeah, we cracked it. I'm like, that's kind of...
It's a brand new crack.
It's no longer a new windshield. Yeah. And I'm like, well, where's the Challenger wheels that were on it? He's like, oh, I took those off. And I'm like, that's kind of an important aspect of it. I'm sitting on steel wheels. And, and I drove all the way up there, and it was funny because my son was with me, and my son is kind of my sidekick. And then another friend of mine named Keith, and they were betting on whether or not I was going to take it or not. So like, he's not taking it. And then one said he's not taking it, one said he is taking it. And I told the guy, I'm like, man, this just isn't for me. And this guy has, I'm not kidding you, 69 Camaro sitting in his driveway in Kokomo, sitting outside. 73 Nova. He's got, he's into trikes and a bunch of other cool stuff that we did not trade. So I guess at that point, I was somewhat fed up with the truck.
Sure. I get it.
The young man that ended up with it, he had contacted me and said, I want to buy that truck. I said, man, I just made a deal to trade it for the Trans Am. And he's like, oh, and had a little conversation with the kid. Seemed like, good manner, seemed like a smart kid. He's like, well, if you see anything else like that for $1,200, let me know. I'm like, is there really anything else that, in my mind, I'm like, is there another 1970 GMC truck that runs and drives with a V8 in it? And, for $1,200, you don't see him anymore. But I, was entertaining to him, and, we shot messages back and forth, whatever. So when I got back, I messaged him and said, hey, I didn't make the deal. I still have the truck. And he said, how much? I said, $1,200. And he said, I'll take it. And I said, you better come. And then I realized he was a kid. I said, ask your parent. I said, ask your mom and dad first before we do anything else. Make sure they know what you're doing first, please. And so he did, and he ended up asking his mom. And I said, well, you still need to come see it. I want you to come see it first. I don't want you just to agree to buy it. I'm not going to consider it sold until you come see it. And me and him talked quite a bit after that. We talked about the truck, and he had some small plans for it and things like that. And he had made it time to come see it. And he's a good kid. He's a 16-year-old kid. And I don't know, did you see how he owns his own beekeeping company? Did you see that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Sure did.
So he makes honey and sells honey at car shows that he goes with his grandfather. His grandfather's got a fox body, and his grandfather, his name was Tony, goes to every car show there is and drags this kid along with him. And everyone knows this kid because of that.
Sure.
And this kid sells honey for, if you want to sit down, man, you know what honey is worth? $1 an ounce for honey. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good number if you ask me. But so anyways, so we're sitting here, and he scheduled to come see it on Monday, and around about Friday night or maybe Thursday night, it's probably Thursday night, my wife comes up to me and she goes, why don't we just give him the truck? You seem to like this kid. Why don't we just give it to him? And I was like, and in a way I kind of thought, well, is it good to give somebody something for free, or do they need to earn it? And I said, I don't want to just tell him it's free and he comes out and gets it and takes it and beats, and and flips it or sells it to his cousin, or his cousin says, well, I'll
Right.
take it if you don't take it. So I thought about it in my head, and I had people. So I posted that he was going to come see it, and I did a thing that you probably saw where I said, this kid is 16 years old, and he's got a lot of motivation, a lot of drive, and he wants a classic vehicle. Good manners. He's, and I learned more about him as time went on too. But so originally I said, if anybody has some 70 GMC stuff they want to donate to this kid to push him along, here he is. Don't break yourself doing it, but he's buying this truck off of me for $1,200. And if you guys have anything laying around, I'd appreciate it, and he'd appreciate it too. And I with some constraints, I said, don't donate it to me. I don't want it. I don't want people donating things to me. I want to donate them to this kid. I don't want to be in the middle of it because, I've got 30 cars right now. I think maybe more. So, and then it grew from there. My followers got on board, and then all of a sudden it was like, the first guy was like, dude, I got an HEI laying here. I'm like, brand new AC Delco HEI. And I'm like, that'd be awesome. And he's like, what else does he need? I said, well, if brand new HEI needs to have HEI spark plugs. He's like, done. He goes, what else does he need? He goes, spark plugs? I said, yeah, spark plugs too. He's like, done. He goes, give me his address. And I said, okay, well, here's his address, but you got to mail it to his mom because he's a minor. No, don't mail it to him. Mail it to his mom. And again, I said, now you got to ask your mom. I said, people are going to send you some, a package. And then, and man, it just spiraled from there. And there were so many people that got on board with the story, and a lot of people were like, how can I help? How can I help? And a lot of people were like, man, you're doing a good thing for this kid. And I did have, and I had a little bit of flack here and there. I don't know if you saw that, but
yeah, I did. I mean, I get what they're saying, but on the flip side, we were talking before I even called you, and you go to a car show, and how many people do you see that don't have gray hair?
Yeah,
they're the great majority of the people there are usually older, and to get the younger kids involved, especially in something a little bit older like that truck, that's the kind of stuff we can get behind. Even if they do drive the little tuner car with the fart can exhaust, I don't care. They're still a car guy, but it's still neat to see them in the old pickups too.
And we kind of have become. I'm a Gen X guy, and we're kind of the gatekeepers. The boomers are in front of us. The boomers, they don't relate well to the children sometimes, to the younger generation. And the Gen X's, I think, if anybody's going to save the classic car community with the younger people, it's going to have to be the Gen X people.
Right.
They grew up working for what they had, and I don't want you to think that I spoiled this kid by giving him a truck. I did not. And at no point in time did he ever even know. I mean, we'll go into that more in the story, but he didn't know I was giving him the truck. He had no idea, and nobody did. I told the people that were donating, the people that said, I want to donate, I said, okay, let me tell you first. So I don't want you to feel like you're donating and I'm not. I want you to understand that I'm going to just give him the whole entire truck. And people were I think I told 4 or 5 people that. Because one of the people that showed up was this young man. He was in the Army, and he lives over in Greenwood, Indiana, which isn't far from here. And he drove all the way over here and brought me a really nice diamond plate aluminum toolbox for the back of this little 70 GMC.
Oh, wow.
And I was like,
I did see that.
Yeah, and I was like, man, and I gave him a nice, one of my shirts and a couple stickers. And, I had to tell him, I don't want you to feel like you're donating and no one else is donating. Because that guy, he drove here to do that. And I was, and it was a nice toolbox. But, it's, like I said, if we're not, if people like you and you guys like you and guys like me aren't the ones that are helping these kids into this, if we're standing there going, no, you can't have this vehicle. No, I won't sell you this vehicle. No, I won't help you build these vehicles. They're all going to end up in 2017 Dodge Chargers? Is that the future of, is that the future of car shows is 2006 and newer vehicles, 20-year-old vehicles and less? Because that's not what I want to see.
No.
And you picture that kid with that 1970 GMC, and imagine he puts his Beekeepers logos on the side of it with his name on it. His name's Arjun. Fantastic kid. And his company's called, he's got a very heavy last name that the first four letters are Sree, S-R-E-E. So it's Shree's Bees is the name of his company. And
Perfect.
But you see this kid roll up in this old, I don't want to call it a beater, but a driver truck, and he's, whipping out big jars of honey, and he's got, maybe he's got his own little YouTube thing going on, and, that's the kid I want to meet at the car show. I want to know that kid's story, Right. I want to see what he's doing. No offense, I've seen enough red Mustangs to last me the rest of my life,
Yeah.
And
no offense to the red Mustang people.
And no offense to the red Mustang people, but they talk about the difference between a guy that builds his car and a guy that works on his car and the guy that just drives around with a chair in the back of his, a chair in the trunk of his car. No offense again.
Yep.
But, there's guys that don't talk to people at these car shows. There's guys that camp at the car show and they don't get up. They don't tell you, hey, that's a cool car. Hey, I'll buy some honey off this kid. And we got to be those people that interact with these younger generation. And, and my gosh, if you've got an HEI sitting on your shelf, give it to the kid,
Yeah.
If you've got, so let me get, I know you're probably like, pick up the pace. So Monday he comes out, and that's the video that you probably saw. So Monday morning he comes out at 9 a.m. And I did make a video beforehand, and I said, I made about a 3-minute video. I said, I'm going to give him this truck when he shows up. If he shows interest enough and he says it's his truck he wants, I'm just going to give it to him. And when he pulled up, it was him and his mom and his grandfather. And we looked at the truck and we talked, and the kid's a fantastic kid. His mom's fantastic. His grandfather's really cool. His grandfather's dragging him into classic cars. And so when he pulls up, I go ahead and shoot the video out on my Bulletproof Garage Facebook page. So, and my followers are like, oh, don't tell him. I'm like, I haven't told him. He's standing here. He's not on his phone. And so what you saw was when I said, okay, did you bring the $1,200? And he says, I did. I said, well, then come over here and have a seat with me on the trailer, and we need to negotiate. And that's probably the part that you probably liked, right?
I saw that, and then I saw the initial posting that you had there when people were volunteering out parts. But the reverse, that's what I'm looking for, reverse negotiation that you did. Like I told you earlier, that restored my faith in humanity. Because he was so excited. And I don't think he knew at that moment, excuse my French, I don't think he knew whether to shit whistle or wind his watch because of what was going on right there. And I think you made his day, and you made a bunch of other people's days. I mean, I showed it to everybody I worked with in a dealership, and they're like, holy cow, that is really awesome. When because I told him, I said, well, you need to start the negotiations, and you need to make me an offer. And he fully intended to pay $1,200 for that truck. And if you asked me today, if I saw that truck rolling around, if that truck was at your house and it was for sale, and it was $1,200, I'd buy it. I'd buy it. That's the right money.
Yep. Yeah, 327, 3-speed manual, and a truck that I can beat around in, I'd buy it.
Sure.
No questions asked. So, but he's probably, maybe he's negotiated before. I don't know. What was your gut on that? Do you think he'd negotiated before? I think that was
I don't think
first
so.
Step at it.
I think that was his first time ever. And
yeah.
I don't think there was a lot of experience there at all. So,
well, I don't think he learned anything either from negotiating.
I was trying to figure out the nice way to say that.
Yeah. Well, that's why, because I was like, man, people are going to expect me to, because when it first started, I said, okay, you make me an offer, and I said, and start low. I want you to start low, and he's a respectful kid. And he's probably like, well, I don't want to be insulting or anything like that. Because at no point in time, let me get this straight. At no point in time did he ever ask me for the truck. He never asked for a single part. He never asked for help. All he's done has been respectful and manners and, and a hardworking kid that made $1,200 and wanted to buy a cool truck. That's all he's ever been. He didn't. This wasn't his idea. It was something that, and it grew legs. But anyways, so he made me his first offer was $950, and I'm like, $950, that seems a little high to me. Yeah. So again, I was going the wrong direction.
But the thing with this is we were all that kid at one point in time.
Absolutely.
We had that, well, back when we did it, it wasn't $1,200. It was like 75, 50, 100, even $200. And we had that money in our pocket, and it was just about jumping at the guy. And the excitement, and with him trying to hold back the excitement, you probably must have been messing with his mind a little bit too. And I think that was kind of cool too, because I pictured myself at 16 years old and doing the same thing. And that's the part, I guess, that made it cool for me.
I think how many times you walked up to a car that you wanted and you couldn't do that too as well.
Right.
Where you walked up, for me, like the Roadrunners have always been one of my things. And, I'd see a Roadrunner and be like, that's the car for me, and you go up to that guy and, what do you got to have for this Roadrunner? And he'd give you a number that was probably 4 more times than what you had in your entire life. And,
right.
And, and there was the dream was over. That was where the dream ended,
Yep.
And it's, and his dream was coming reality. He was looking at vehicles because his mom had said that they had found a truck down in Texas that was considerably more money, and did not even have a motor and transmission in it. Then he found a truck in Oklahoma. Then he found my truck, and then he showed the truck to his mom. And his mom was hesitant, and I never told his mom either that we intended to do this. But his mom saw what I was doing. And I wasn't begging people for stuff. I was just merely saying, man, if you got an extra,
right.
I mean, because I have an extra Mopar small block gasket set just sitting on the shelf, and that, if somebody said, man, my head gaskets are blowing, I'd be like, here's your head gaskets, go do it. And so, like I said, it grew legs. But anyways, so his first offer was $950. I said, that seems a little high. I think you ought to probably go a little lower. And you could see it in his face. He was like, well,
Yeah, you really confused him. Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, it wasn't very good negotiating tactics. And I think we got down to 500. And then my wife said, well, I think maybe you need to make him a counter offer. And I think it was about there where I said, why don't I just give you the truck?
Yeah.
And he was kind of blown away by it. And I was too, so his family, my wife was there. It was a good moment. I had $100 in the truck. The guy, the Galaxy that came with that truck, I paid $1,300 for those two vehicles, cost me about $100 in fuel. And so I had that Galaxy here. It was a good looking car. And one of my followers that's a big Ford fan said, he goes, I want to own that Galaxy. I said, I'd only owned it for like 3 days at that point. And I'm like, I don't know if I'm ready to sell it. I'm kind of having fun with it. I'm playing with it. I'm making social media out of it, whatever. And he goes, give me your address. I'll make you an offer you can't refuse. And he did. So he showed up and he bought it. And I made a more than a decent amount of money on it. And it was, a nice car. So I was way ahead though on this GMC. I mean, way ahead. I did contact George Pearson's widow, and George is the man that owned the truck originally.
Right.
And I told her what I wanted to do with it, and I said, I want to honor your husband by taking a truck that he loved, and I'm going to give it to this kid over in Ohio. And she said he would be so honored to have that, to know that that's what happened with it. Right. And I said, I wanted your approval. And she goes, you not only have my approval, she goes, you have George's approval too. And I was like, that's what I wanted. That's what I wanted to hear. And and that guy George, he beat that little truck all up and down. He went up into Wisconsin, up into Iowa, any place where there was a campground. He took that thing camping.
Oh wow!
Okay. And put a lot of miles on it. And he kept that truck. He passed away from cancer, and but man, he kept those trucks until the day he died. And even after that, his family wasn't really crazy about getting rid of the stuff that he had. That truck meant something to him, and that's, that a truck like that, it can be important to somebody else, and it's this kid Arjun. It's going to be important to him, and
Yeah.
he'll certainly screw some stuff up on it.
Well, if he doesn't, he'll be the only person who never has.
Right. Yeah. He'll probably, imagine the first time you ever welded a floor pan in something. What a disaster,
Yeah.
No, we're not going there. No.
Yeah. Looks like Ray Charles welded with his feet. Yeah, I know what you mean.
You think about the things you did to your cars as a kid, and you go, I would have never done that. My 72 Dodge Dart, one of my forever Mopars, I've had it for 28 years. And at some point in time in my life, I decided it didn't need factory wheel tubs anymore in the back. So I got in there, and I cut out the factory wheel tubs out of the back of that car and replaced them with aluminum wheel tubs. And I pretty much still feel that one today when I look at that disaster that I made in the back of that car.
Yeah, I remember the first modification I ever made is I took a 1/2-inch drill bit and drilled 6 holes in a crossover pipe on my 74 Valiant. Because I went to Shopko. I don't know if you guys had Shopkos in Indiana, but I went to Shopko and I bought the old Thrush muffler, the red or the blue and white, the big cans. And Dad's like, what the hell are you going to do with that? And I said, I'm going to put it on my car. No, you're not. So he made me take that back. Well, I was all pissed off. I crawled underneath the car and I drilled holes in the crossover pipe just to make it beller a little bit. And that didn't go over very well either, but whatever. Such is life, I guess, right?
But those are the kind of stories that made us car guys, the car guys that we are today. Those are the stories that made us who we are.
Do you want to know what the best thing I did to that car now that I'm thinking about it?
Tell me.
My buddy had a 71 Nova with dual exhaust, and I thought those chrome exhaust tips were the coolest looking thing, right?
Right.
So I had one exhaust pipe on the car, and I had the chrome tip. So I went to the old farm and barn store, and I bought a piece of pipe and put a chrome tip on it, and then wired it up to make it look like it had dual exhaust, but it was only 6 inches exhaust pipe, but it had 2 chrome tips hanging out the back.
And don't you live where it's cold? Wasn't it cold in the mornings where you live?
Oh, it's cold all the time.
Yeah, so I would imagine that might tell its own tale when you fire that car up.
Yeah, I didn't care.
That's cool.
Didn't
That's
matter.
Really cool.
Didn't matter.
Really
I drove that car, and that was the biggest chick magnet in the world to me. So, yeah, I'm all good with it.
I had a 74 Valiant. I had a 4-door 74 Valiant.
That's what mine was. 318.
Mine, yeah. I was the day I was bringing it home. My girlfriend at the time goes, "Did you see that lady that pulled up next to you and gave you a really dirty look?" I said, "I did. Well, I don't know what that was about." She goes, "Your gas cap flew off the left side of the car and it bounced down the road and hit the windshield of her car." I was like,
oops.
"Huh." Well, that explains why she was mad.
Yeah, I guess so.
It was the ugliest little car. I cut out the wheel tubs on it, as a matter of fact. They had 28 14.5s on the back and a big nitrous system on it, and it would run 1250s at 105 miles an hour.
Holy cow.
It was a pretty fun little car. Yeah, 340 cam and a stock 318 and 150 horse of nitrous on it.
Well, that'll do it.
It was a good time.
That'll do it.
Well, what else are you thinking about with Arjun? What do you want to cover with
So Arjun now, he drove the truck home?
No. The truck ran and drove, but it did have an overheating issue.
Okay.
That I never really solved. Did you ever see the picture of the valves that were underneath the hood on that truck? Did you ever scroll back through that?
No.
So George knew that it was putting compression into the cooling system, and he plumbed in right above the thermostat housing 4 pressure relief valves.
Oh, yeah. I did see that. Yes.
That'd be. I don't know if you're going to put pictures of stuff on this podcast, but that picture of those things. Because when I first saw it, I'm like, what is this? What is he doing with this? And those were to relieve pressure in the cooling system that I guess that maybe the radiator cap wouldn't do. I'm not sure. So I never put coolant in that truck in the time I had it. Because I thought, well, if I put coolant in it and it fills the crankcase up, then it's going to lock the motor up. So
right.
I never put coolant in it. But I would drive it 15 minutes at a time or so,
Sure.
nothing more than that. And it would just start making heat a little bit out of the heater core, but yeah, that it wouldn't have been drivable home, and that was one of the original reasons one of the original things I asked for was if anybody had a set of head gaskets laying around, because I'm a Mopar guy, so I'm dumb, and Mopar stuff is so stinking expensive compared to Chevy stuff,
Right.
and so a pair of Mopar head gaskets, a pair of small block Mopar head gaskets is like, I don't know, a gasket kit's probably $125 maybe for the cheapest gasket set you can buy, and then up from there. And a guy that donated, his name is Sean. He works at O'Reilly's. I'll give him a little shout out. Works at O'Reilly's over in Greenfield, and he donated a brand new gasket set. And I said, you don't have to buy a brand new gasket set. He goes, they're so cheap. He goes, you're not even gonna believe it with my discount. I'm like, well, tell me how cheap it is. And I said, I don't want junk. I want Felpro. And he goes, yeah, absolutely, Felpro. $42 for a full engine gasket set for this truck.
Wow.
$42 with a discount.
That's about right. My head gaskets, the head gaskets in my old truck were a lot more, but I had different head gaskets. But yeah, the gasket set itself was pretty cheap.
Mopar stuff is never that cheap. And then he's like, and I'm going to buy him he also bought him a Cloy's double roller timing chain and gears. He goes, I promise you it needs a timing chain and gears. So I'm like, okay. And so he bought him one of those too. And it was like, with his discount, it was like $29. And I'm like, how is a double roller timing chain and gears $29?
I guess I'm going to go start working at O'Reilly. Holy crap.
Well, yeah, his discount is fantastic.
Sounds
and
like
he gave me a good discount code for the future too. He says, he's like, you can use the discount code anytime you want. But he's just, there's so many heroes in this story too. Don't let me dwindle it down, because there's Chris from Napa. He donated a pretty good sized gift card, and then he also donated a brand new alternator and a brand new water pump for it. I've had AutoZone guys donate. I've had Advanced Auto Parts guys donate. A lot of parts guys, man, a lot of guys that work at parts places donated. And a lot of individuals, man, I've had people just reach out and be like, where do I send the gift card at? I'm like, he's got an AutoZone right down the street from his house. We'll call him a gift card. And I bet I've had at least 25 people donate, at least. And it's, the story just keeps, the story is dying down a little bit now, but
yeah.
But then, so I made a T-shirt with my friend Daniel does a lot of my design for my merchandise, and I sent Daniel the parameters of it, and I said, picture this old truck sitting in an old barn, and it's owned by an old beekeeper, and what's the truck going to look like? And he goes, I got you, and he pulls off the best looking T-shirt I've ever seen in my life, and it's
that
the
was
old
pretty
truck.
sharp.
Yeah, and we already sold out on the first run of those, so I had to order more of those things already. But
Perfect.
Yeah, and it's supportive, but it's and people say, what does the money go to? I'm like, well, I've got expenses too. I mean, electricity and gasoline, and I buy a lot of dumb stuff, but I do real estate is my job. I mean, that's my profession is real estate.
Okay.
I buy and sell homes, and then I also do rentals as well.
All right. Well, Dave, it's for what you did for Arjun there was, it's what got my attention, and I'll forever be a fan of Bulletproof Garage. If you're listening to this, check out Bulletproof Garage on Facebook. Lots of fun stuff in there. You can see the Bulletproof Charger on there, the 4-wheel drive Charger. That thing looks like a riot. But yeah, give Dave a like and follow on there, and make sure you check his stuff out and just see what they did for Arjun there. Arjun, hopefully we can maybe get him on the podcast, and we'll give him like 6 months or something like that, and just kind of see where the truck is at and the improvements that he made and things like that, and where he's at in the journey on that truck. As I think that would be a fun follow up in like 6 months or so.
He said he's going to do some social media with it, and I think he's smart enough to do, to get some stuff going with it too. I just hope that, he is he's obviously a full-time high schooler, and but I think having him on the show, I think you'd like him. I think your fans would like him too. And at the same time, I'd consider having his mom has a lot to add to the story, and so does his grandfather Tony. They're both really into it, and that's one of the neat things about this kid is that he's got other people that are pulling him into the classic car world, and it's. He's got friends that like dudes that know him from the car shows, and they're like, "Oh, I know this kid. He sells me. I buy honey from him, and I see him at every car show there is." So,
well, Dave, we are gonna leave it at this. Thank you for what you did for Arjun. Like I said, you restored a faith in humanity in a lot of people.
Thank you.
And hopefully a lot of people get to see that and get to see that the car people in the world are some of the best people that are out there. And like I said, we're going to share it. We're going to make sure a lot more people know about this, more so than we already did. And once again, on behalf of all of us here, thank you for what you did. And for Arjun, man, we'd love it if you get on the podcast. We'd if you want, you can get a hold of us here at Hot Rod Tuesday Podcast gmail.com. I'd love to have you come on. So
I will make sure when you send me the link, I will make sure that he knows that he is definitely invited.
Yes, sir.
And we'll have to double check, obviously, with his parents. He's a minor,
right?
But I will make sure that he gets on there. You'll really like this kid. I mean, he's going to be one of us someday. And hopefully he pays it forward too. So hopefully this is a turning point in his young life.
Well, good.
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me on, man. I really appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, Dave. Greatly appreciate it. And I'm sure we'll be talking soon.
Thank you. Yeah. Keep me in mind. If you got anything else you want to do podcasts on, keep me in mind. I'm always here.
All right. We'll definitely do it.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Later.
All right. All right, that was Dave from Bulletproof Garage. Dave, thanks again for coming on the podcast. Coming up next is going to be Jennifer from Main Street Memories Car Show in Tomahawk. Here's Jennifer. Hey, guys, joining me on the phone, I have Jennifer from Main Street Memories Car Show up in Tomahawk. Jennifer, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having us. We're very excited to be with you.
So you're coming on here to talk about a car show you guys got up there in the middle of God's country up in the North Woods. It's always a Sunday of Memorial Day weekend, and it sounds like you've done this for quite a few years. How long have you been doing this show?
So this show actually this year is going to be the 32nd annual car show. We were very blessed. Many moons ago, one of our local car show groups started putting this on. Just, it was like, hey, a bunch of friends have cars. Let's just show them off. Let's put them on the street and let people come and take a peek. And it has grown and grown and grown. It got to the point where it became too much for them. They approached us and said, can you guys help us out, take this car show over? We said, absolutely. And so here we go, keeping it alive and running right downtown Tomahawk. Again, 32nd year this year.
Well, that's amazing. They have these shows, and people don't realize the amount of work it takes to put on a car show, especially when you got the ones in the cities like that, finding the sponsors and the permits and all the other things like that. So for doing that, for finding people that are dedicated to do that for that many years, that is it's a wonderful thing.
It is.
So how many cars do you normally get at your car shows?
Mother Nature always plays, her little hand in there, but we've been really blessed. We've been getting between 200 and 250 cars every year. In fact, last year it was such beautiful weather. We set our record. We had 326 cars down here.
Holy cow. Yeah. Do you ever get to the point where you're like, oh, where are we going to go with these if any more show up?
Yeah, that was how we were getting a little nervous last year. We start registration at 7. By 5, we were 5 blocks deep of cars before we even started parking, and we're like, oh boy, okay, well, this is going to be a good day. We're excited. It got to be like 9:30, and we're parking cars where we usually park them by like 10:45. It was like, oh, it's going to be tight. So that's all right.
Yeah, it makes, it's a fun kind of nervous, if that makes sense.
It does.
Yeah, and then the fact that many people are coming out there, and you never find anybody in a bad mood at a car show, which is also a good thing too.
I love it. Everybody's all smiley, and even when it is a little rainy, they're still smiling.
That's right. So your show, it runs from 9 to 3 for the public, and you've got a whole bunch of different classes. You don't have to go through all the different classes. How many different classes do you have that have trophies or things like that?
So we actually have 29 classes. So we have everything from your antique pre-war era stock, muscle, to race cars, tuners, street rods, special interest. We get a little bit of everything. And we do the top 2 in each class. And then we also have 4 specialty classes. We, of course, have the People's Choice and the Best in Show.
Okay.
Our mayor gets involved. He is a woodworker. He has been each year personally making the trophy and then picking out his Mayor's Choice Award. And then we do have the Car Club Award. So whichever car club shows up with the most participation, they get a specialty trophy as well for helping keep the tradition of the car show going.
Oh, that's awesome. So do you have any restrictions on cars, or can anybody bring a car in?
We have, like I said, 29 classes. We're pretty open to anything. We do have, obviously, the modified as well. So if you have 3 or more major modifications, we do, obviously have you put it in a little bit different class than somebody rolling off a stock car. But like I said, with 29 classes, there's definitely a spot for everybody.
Okay. All right. So anything from new to the first car ever built is allowed to be at the show.
Absolutely. And we do get a great variety. And one of my favorite, I love all the cars, but being the special interest is always fun. We have like a Jurassic Park car. We've had the Mystery Machine before,
Sure.
Things like that. So it's just really a fun show.
Yeah. Yeah. And the people, I love going to car shows to talk to the people, and the people is what makes this thing. That's why we do what we do. We can say it's about the cars, but at the end of the day, it's about the people. And one thing I can say about the pictures that I saw online of this show was the streets were packed with people. So that was pretty cool. That was really nice to see.
Yes, and we are right on the pavement. We are right downtown, so it's the paved road. And we set the cars up where obviously we want to get as many cars in as possible, but we want to give you guys some room on either side because a lot of our folks, like you said, they have a story about that car. They've got some pictures, they've got awards, so we want to make sure there's a little bit of area around there so that they can share those with the folks who come to our show. Sure.
So you mentioned it's in a downtown. What kind of businesses do you have downtown? You got restaurants and like little stores. It's been a long time since I've been in downtown Tomahawk. I can tell you that.
Yes, well, make sure you get on up here. We have a great little community. Downtown has really grown. We have a little bit of everything. As you mentioned, of course, we have our bars and restaurants, but we've got the general store that is still new management, but a great family. You've still got that historic candy and things like that. And then we've got some beautiful boutiques. Cannot not have, a resale consignment shop and an antique shop. But yeah, just a little bit of everything. If you're looking for it, or you might not even know you need it, we're going to have it here in Tomahawk.
Sounds good. And then I forgot to ask this. Do you have any bands or DJs or anything like that go along with the car show?
We do. We actually have 2 DJs. We have one DJ because we do have a children's area. So it is a very family-friendly event, but we also know sometimes sticky hands and cars don't go together or short attention spans. So we make sure we have a children's area. We've got the bounce houses. We've got a petting zoo, balloon twisting. So a little something for the kids to keep them entertained. And they have their own DJ who plays their music, and they can have dance contests and hula hoop contests. And then we have our DJ who's there in the middle spinning some fantastic tunes. But then, of course, our information center, and lost child, that kind of thing.
Right.
So we have all those covered as well.
All right. Well, that really sounds like a fun show. And you said you've been doing this for 32 years, and it sounds like it's going to be going on for a long time. And you are up there in God's country, as I said, right up in the middle of the Northwoods. So if you happen to be up there on vacation, which I know a lot of us from the southern part of the state do go up north on Memorial Day weekend, you guys go check this out. It's be May 24th from 9 to 3 right in downtown Tomahawk. You don't want to miss this one. You look at their pictures online. If you look up Main Street Memories Car Show on Facebook, you're going to see all the pictures, and looks like the place to be on Memorial Day weekend if you were up in the Northwoods area.
Absolutely. And we also, as well as I mentioned with our bars and restaurants, we also do have a food court, and then there's also actually a small craft fair area, including, homemade dog treats and stuff. So you're out enjoying the cars, you grab some food, grab some little crafts you didn't know you needed, and entertain yourselves in the bounce houses too.
I find that when I go to craft car shows with craft fairs, it sometimes can turn expensive. But yeah, that's okay though. That's what it's for.
That's right. We want to make sure there's a little something for everybody, and that everybody stays entertained and stays right downtown with us.
All right, Jennifer. Well, thank you so much for calling in. We really appreciate it. And if you'd like to come on again, like right before your show and just do a little blurb reminding people that, hey, our show's coming up. This is what we have to offer. I'd be more than happy to do that for you. But otherwise, like I said, thanks for calling in and we greatly appreciate it.
Absolutely. That would be fantastic. I appreciate your time today, and we'd love to come back on and chat some more.
All right, Jennifer. Thank you again, and we'll talk soon.
Sounds good. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
You too.
Thanks.
Coming to us all the way from the other side of the table with today's history lesson. What do you got, Kyle?
Got a few things this week, starting in 1918, when the first Chevy trucks went on a sale. Chevy introduced 2 4-cylinder trucks for the 1918 model year.
They got 4-cylinder trucks yet today.
Go figure.
The truck was priced at $595. A 1-ton truck called the Model T for truck was priced at $1,125.
Wow.
Model T for truck.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, I didn't read that part first. That was fun.
I love it.
well, they have the Model C for car.
Car. Yeah.
Yeah.
And in 1942, the Ford Motor Company signed an agreement to make Jeeps to meet the huge wartime demand for the military. By the end of the war, Ford had produced 280,000 Jeeps, with 13,000 more that were amphibian Jeeps, built by Ford, and they were called Seep, for a sea Jeep.
Huh. There you go. I'm sure the water would seep in, too.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
By the way that picture looks, it
Early bass boat.
Yeah, it's like a real little duck. Like a Dell's duck, not like a
that's what I
Mallard
thought
duck.
when I saw the
Yeah.
picture, too.
It'd be
That's
a
why,
duckling.
Yeah, it's a duckling.
that's why I saved the picture.
I'm sure somebody's called it that before.
1982, the Johnny Cash Parkway opened in Hendersonville, Tennessee.
Did they build that one piece at a time?
It didn't cost them a dime. Only the taxpayers paid for it. In 1982,
I haven't had enough beer for this.
In 1982, Mark Thatcher, the son of Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher, he went missing during a rally race in the Sahara Desert. They were missing for a few days and found 3 days later after a search plane found them, 30 miles off the course.
Must have took a wrong turn at Albuquerque.
Okay, Bugs.
And the last thing for this weekend, in 1998, U.S. Post Office unveiled the new Ford Model T stamp.
Oh, there you go. The old Model T stamp. Stamp of approval. Oh.
I didn't know the post office honored any vehicles with a stamp. That's a new one to me.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they had to. Well, no, I'm trying to think now if I remember seeing any.
You know, usually it's dead presidents. And,
Yeah, usually. But, all right, Kyle, thanks for all that. And coming up next will be The Buzz with Beth. All right, coming to us from the Sussex Bowl in Sussex, Wisconsin, it is Hot Rod Beth. Beth, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you so much. What's shaking, guys?
The
Happy
table.
New Year.
Really? Wait. The one time I say Sussex right and you don't say shit.
Well, you didn't give me a chance.
I know I was disappointed.
But
I thought I'm going to change it up.
apologize,
Okay,
Wow,
anyway,
okay.
sorry. So what do we got going on down there in Sussexburgville?
but you know what? What's crazy is it's raining here. It's 40 degrees. I don't get this weather. I don't get it at all.
Better than shoveling
But-
snow.
Right?
That's true. We need the water. Anyways, how often do you hear that? But we need the water. Anyways, what's happening down here? It's warm. I've got a few things to talk about as we're moving into these next couple weeks. So this Saturday is our chili bowl. We've got about 70 people signed up already. Pretty exciting. So
That'll be a good time.
yeah, it should be. If you're interested, we're taking on more. You can always register with me and call me at 608-575-8786, or you can always email me at hotrodbeth@gmail.com. And then on January 25th, we have a model car and toy show swap meet going on. That should be pretty exciting. I'm sorry, it's the 25th. Did I say that?
Yeah, you said the
Yeah.
25th. Yep.
Yes, January 25th. Starts at 8 a.m. if you want to come in and start purchasing things. I think all the tables are sold out, but if you are interested, let me know, and I can always get your number to the guy that's doing that swap. And
Okay.
then I do have some other good news. February 1st, up in Iola, if you are a swap person that goes to Iola every year, they are having their 4th annual swap summit on the Iola grounds at 2 p.m. So if you want to hear what's going on in this 2026 year, any of the changes, and then I believe you have through March 1st to get your swap sites taken care of. After that, I think it's kind of a free-for-all.
Yeah.
And
Good thing
then-
Sally's not selling seashells by the seashore. Holy shit.
Right. No kidding. Man, I wouldn't have been able to do that one at all. Then on February 28th, we're having the All Car Club meeting at the Knights of Columbus in South Milwaukee. So
Okay.
if you are part of a car club or you've got a show going on, get your flyers together. This will be after World of Wheels. World of Wheels is the 22nd and 23rd, if I'm not mistaken, or that Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yep.
20th, 21st, 22nd is World of Wheels, and then the 28th is the car show. It starts at noon, but you can go in at 11 o'clock. I'll be there doing a 50-50 raffle for Paul. But bring your flyers. Again, make sure flyers have dates, times, addresses. If all cars are welcome, any details you can put on those flyers, the better. And then we'll make sure that we'll get them up on the site and get the news out there.
Sure.
It's time.
It's getting there. As soon as you get after the first of the year, I notice there's a lot more activity online too.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes.
that's a good thing as well. But yeah, it sure is nice to think that I think we only got I don't remember what it was, 18 Tuesdays till their car show or something like that. And that'll go by quicker than what we think.
I'm going to have to start counting that down. And then, of course, I will be in L.A. at the Roadster Show at the end of January. So now, come on. That's not nice. I'd take
No.
you guys with me if I could, but you have that work thing going on.
Yeah.
But it'll be nice having you guys down here for the Chili Bowl. That'll be a lot of fun.
Yes.
We can pretend like we're in L.A.
I'm not eating no fucking tofu. I can tell you that right now.
Al, wear your shorts and your Hawaiian shirt.
Oh, Lord.
Giggity.
And wait, speaking of Al, before we even get started with this,
No, ma'am.
you know the question. Nothing yet?
No, ma'am.
You didn't? Nothing?
No,
Nothing with the car? You didn't do a damn thing yet?
I thought about it the other day, and then, I don't know. Something shiny went by, and I just lost track of it.
Squirrel ran by or what?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Ay. What are we going to do with you? So that's all I have for right now. But like you said, as we are going in to the new year, things are popping. So,
right.
woo-hoo.
So yeah, I think things. I don't know exactly how it's going to turn out on Saturday yet, but we'll see. Maybe we'll do something live there. We'll see how it all goes. But it sounds like it's going to be a great time. Kyle and I were both part of the last one that they had over in Hartford years ago, and that was a great time. So I'm assuming this could even be even better yet. So looking forward to that. That's going to be a great time. I can't wait to watch Al Bowl.
No, boy.
Right. And we're going to have chicken.
Chicken.
Yeah, there we go.
Chicken, heck yeah.
And asking for a friend right now, will there be EMS on site when these old guys are bowling, or what? When I say
we
old
have a
guys, I'm
couple-
talking about myself.
Yeah, sure you are.
Yeah, we've got a
Jerk.
couple people here that can, do EMS if need be. So,
Okay, good. That's all I need to worry.
and we
that's
have
all I worry
ramps.
about.
We have ramps available for those that can't bend over, and
Sign me up.
Al, you already are signed up, my dear. I got a ramp with your name on it.
Oh, my.
There we go.
Yeah, I know. There's a joke in there somewhere.
Yeah, we'll just leave it. All right. So I guess that's the biggest thing right now. We get past this bowling thing. The rest of the winter is going to fly by. Now we know January is a big month. We also have the Real Chili Bowl down in Tulsa. We have the Barrett Jackson coming up here towards the end of the month. So kind of looking forward to that too. So I guess with that, it's everybody's favorite time of the show. It's the time for the shit that Al says. Al, what do you got this week?
Here we are, smack dab in the middle of the cold and flu season. Well, the other day I wasn't feeling real well, so I went to Walgreens to find some over-the-counter medication to help me out. And I get there, and I get to the proper aisle, and I see what I need, and then a thought occurs to me. Who in Walgreens thought it'd be a good idea to have an old guy with diarrhea come in and have to bend way over to the bottom shelf to get the Kaopectate?
Oh my!
Clean up in aisle 5.
Right? Literally.
Oh, there we go.
Yikes!
Yeah, that was kind of crappy.
Yikes.
Yeah.
That was really crappy. Is right.
Yeah, based on the true story.
Well,
Oh,
hopefully,
well.
My goodness.
It's a good thing my wife left her sweater in my Jeep, so I had something to sit on the way home.
Oh, how gross! Oh, yuck!
and just in case it ain't cleared up by Saturday, make sure we got a squeegee.
You know what I do? We have mops, we have squeegees here. Do I need to pick up some Depends for?
Yeah, maybe.
It
Depends are your friends.
Okay.
Tom, you let me know if
Yeah, I got you.
On a side
I
note,
got you.
send me a text if he's suffering or that greasy
It'll see.
chicken's going to be a problem.
Sorry, Beth. I was pooping a lot.
Oh man. We
All
just
right.
got brand new fresheners in the restrooms too. Thank God.
I got a fart, but I'm afraid to.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Run to the bathroom quick.
All right. So I guess with that, that's going to be it for this week. And, if you guys like what you hear on here, make sure you like, subscribe, tell your friends about it, share it, do whatever you got to do. Even if it's telling people about, hey, I heard this really fun podcast, or, man, you guys should listen to these guys. They're a bunch of morons. Either way, we're good with it. So,
I like it.
yeah. So we'll talk to you guys soon, and have a great week.
All right, you guys. Thanks for everything you do.
Thanks for listening to the Hot Rod Tuesday podcast.